Long ago, in a small South African village, there lived a wealthy man named Temba. He was respected, admired, and known for his riches. But what he loved most in his house was not gold or silver. It was a parrot in a shining golden cage. The parrot was beautiful, with green wings and a sharp, clever voice. Every morning, the parrot sang songs that filled the house with joy. But though his cage was made of gold, the parrot's eyes often gazed at the skies, longing for the freedom he once knew. Temba treated the parrot well. He fed him ripe mangoes, sweet bananas, and the best grains money could buy. He spoke to the parrot daily, enjoying its words and laughter. But the parrot, though grateful for the food, felt the weight of his cage. His wings twitched at night, dreaming of flying beyond the mountains. Even if a cage is made of gold, the parrot thought, it is still a cage. One day, Temba prepared to travel for business in a faraway land. Before leaving, he stood before the cage and asked, "My friend, what gift should I bring you when I return?" The parrot looked at him with wise eyes and said softly, "I want no gift of gold or fruit, but please do me a favor. Tell my free friends in the forest that I am trapped here. Tell them I wish to be free, like them." Temba was surprised, but nodded with a smile. "If that is your wish, I will do it." He thought it was a simple request and promised to carry the message. The parrot's heart beat with hope. Maybe his message would carry wings of its own. Maybe freedom was not too far. Temba traveled far, across rivers and valleys, until he reached another land. One afternoon, while walking through a forest, he heard the chatter of parrots echoing in the trees. He remembered his promise. Lifting his voice, he called to the parrots, "Your brother, kept in a golden cage in my home, sends greetings. He says he longs to be free like you." The forest went quiet. Then, from the tallest tree, one parrot trembled, gave a cry, and suddenly fell to the ground, lifeless. Temba's heart sank. "What have I done?" he whispered. "This must have been a close friend of my parrot. I should never have delivered that message." He left the forest with sorrow pressing on his chest. After many days, Temba returned home. The parrot greeted him with joy. "Tell me, my friend, what did my brothers and sisters say when you gave them my message?" Temba lowered his eyes. "I regret to say this. One parrot died the moment I shared your words. I fear my news broke his heart." The parrot froze, his feathers still. He did not sing. He did not speak. Minutes passed in heavy silence. Then suddenly, the parrot trembled, gave one last sigh, and fell to the bottom of the cage, unmoving. Temba cried out, rushing to the cage. "Oh no, my dear friend. First your brother in the forest, and now you too. What curse is this?" With trembling hands, he opened the golden door and lifted the parrot's body out, laying it gently on the ground. Just as his tears began to fall, the parrot leapt into the air. His wings spread wide, strong and free, glistening under the sunlight. Temba gasped in shock. "You're alive?" From high above, the parrot called out, "Yes, I live. My friend in the forest gave me a message. He showed me that if I stopped speaking, if I pretended to die, you would let me out of the cage." Temba stood speechless, realizing the trick. The very voice he loved, the parrot's songs, was the chain that kept the bird imprisoned. The parrot circled above and said, "Sometimes silence is stronger than words. My sweet voice kept me trapped, but silence gave me freedom." Temba's eyes filled with tears, not just of loss, but of wisdom. The parrot soared into the open sky, tasting the wind for the first time in years. His heart danced as he left the golden cage behind. Freedom was not just flying. Freedom was being true to oneself. Temba walked back to the cage. For the first time, It looked ugly. Its golden bars now felt like chains. He whispered, "A cage, no matter how beautiful, is still a prison." Temba sat under a tree, thinking of the parrot's last word. Fear, greed, habits. They are cages too. Am I also trapped? The truth pierced his heart. He realized he too was a prisoner, though not behind bars, but inside his desires. Though the parrot had flown away, his wisdom stayed behind. Temba remembered his words. "One day, I wish you will also be free." Those words echoed like a bell, calling him to see life differently. When the villagers visited and saw the cage empty, they were shocked. "Where is the parrot? You loved him so much." Temba only smiled. He has gone where he truly belonged. Soon, the story spread across villages. People whispered of the parrot who escaped by wisdom, not strength. Children began to play games where they pretended to be parrots, learning when to speak and when to stay silent. Temba grew quieter in his heart. He no longer filled every silence with words or laughter. He learned to listen, and with listening, he began to hear not just others, but himself. He realized greed was a cage, pride was a cage, even comfort could be a cage. And many people, like his parrot, lived trapped without knowing. True freedom was not about gold or food, it was about choice. Sometimes at night, Temba dreamt of the parrot flying across mountains. He woke with a smile, no longer sad. The bird's freedom had become his inspiration. He remembered the lesson. Everyone has a special gift. If others discover it before you, they may use it to trap you. Temba vowed to help others see their gifts, not to trap them, but to set them free. When people asked about his wealth, he did not boast of gold. He told them the story of a parrot. And with every telling, hearts grew lighter, eyes opened wider. Temba was no longer just a rich man. He became a storyteller, carrying wisdom instead of cages. And though he never saw the parrot again, he felt the bird's wings in every lesson he shared. Children began to grow with new wisdom. They learned that freedom was not given by others, but taken by knowing oneself. And many grew to live lives without invisible chains. Though the parrot was gone, his story spread far beyond the village, across mountains and rivers. People remembered him not as a prisoner, but as the bird who outsmarted the cage. Freedom, the people learned, was not just flying in the sky. Freedom was the courage to break habits, silence fears, and rise above greed. That was the parrot's final gift. In his old age, Temba sat before the empty golden cage. He touched its bars and whispered, "I too am free now." And for the first time, his heart felt as light as wings. The story of the parrot reminds us, even if a cage is made of gold, it is still a cage. True freedom begins within. When you learn when to speak, when to be silent, and when to fly, you will taste the sky. Every story is a mirror of ourselves. If this story touched you, remember, cages are not always made of metal. Sometimes they are fears, habits, or even comfort. Will you break yours? If you felt this story, type yes in the comments. Don't just watch. Be part of this family of wisdom. Subscribe, and let's keep discovering the hidden truths of life together. Your next story is waiting. Are you ready?